Hello, my name's Keith and I'm known as the Florida Stone Man, and today I'm going to be talking to you about your shadow form. Shadow work is something you'll never finish. You'll never finish shadow work, ever. Ever. If you think you're finished with shadow work, you're never done with shadow work. You can do it in stages, but it will come back in waves. Just waves. It's good, and yes, I'm at the beach again with bunnies hopping around in the background sometimes, but I'm talking about shadow work today. Yeah, this is a good time to be talking about shadow work, especially upon going to the shadow realm. I've made a video about the shadow realm in the past, but in specific, I'm going to be talking to you about your shadow form. I put names on this stuff because it helps when you put names on it. If you don't know what you're feeling, sometimes it helps when you have a attached label. So in this case, with spiritual exercises, labels can be good for organizing. What's a shadow form? I talked about there's shadow work, shadow form, shadow realm. And yeah, the shadow realm is basically the realm of existence where you're doing shadow work. When you have nightmares, you have horrible dreams. And when you're done having the dreams, you feel better. Shadow work is when you work on your shadows, but what does that entail? The shadow realm, your shadow form. I'm going to come up with a whole shadow work book in the future, but it's not fun. You should be miserable during your shadow work. You should be absolutely miserable during your shadow work just so it gets out. It's kind of like if you've intaken poison and you have to throw the poison up, you better get it all out. You better get it all out. If you think, ooh, yummy, it's tasty, it's going down. It's going down in your system, so get it out. Get it out. That's why you yell and scream when you do shadow work sometimes. That's why you don't feel so nice, but then it feels... And be careful with shadow work. Make sure you're not going into to evil shadow work. Shadows are not inherently evil. There's light and dark. It's the nature. It is the nature. Shadows are not inherently evil, but what your shadows turn into can be evil. You better make sure they don't become evil. So, let's talk about this right now. One of the plagues in Egypt that God put on Egypt is darkness. Is darkness mean? It's mean to people who are already in darkness. Now, when people... Because take your hand right now. Take your hand and cover your eyes. Now you only have yourself. But what does yourself entail of? What does it contain? When you have yourself and there's nothing around you get to see who you exactly are. So, is that when you cover your eyes and you see the darkness, it's required to fall asleep? Is that inherently evil? Are you inherently evil because it's darkness? No, darkness does not mean evil. Evil means evil. So basically, when you shut off the lights in the room, is the blackness and darkness of your room evil? Is that what evil is? You know, mankind has actually had a very, very vicious attachment of, oh, it's black or it's dark, it's evil. It's scary because it's the unknown. Black represents the unknown. So you see the darkness of my car, darkness of outside. People are scared of dark rooms. People are afraid of darkness because that means they have to go within. That's why people are afraid of that, because it means you have to go within. Shadow work technique I'll teach right now is you can go into the darkness of your room, turn off all the lights, and meditate for 30 minutes. 30 minutes of meditation in the darkness of your room. Most people will start feeling weird, or you shut off all TVs, all sounds, etc. Maybe even lock yourself don't lock yourself, but put yourself in a closet and then close the doors. And then when you open your eyes after it's pitch black, you're going to start seeing things, and it scares people. So in essence, the scary shadows, angel word, but the shadows are scary. And they're real. So you get to see exactly what your soul is composed of. And that's why you see the light at the end of the tunnel when you pass into the next realm, because it's mostly darkness until you find the Lord. And when you find the Lord, that's when you find the light. So make sure, when you're doing shadow work, ask God for guidance, because it's going to be painful. Make sure you don't blame him for everything or anything at all, because he's blameless. In essence, he's kind of like, he's helping you, but he's standing back. He's like this. He's not like, he's helping you, but he's at a distance to help you grow. But it's kind of like how a teacher helps someone learn an instrument. You can't play the instrument for someone, can you? You can, but that doesn't teach them. So take away the blame from God. Put the blame on yourself. If you're feeling these horrible emotions, good. It means you're doing the shadow work right. It means it's getting out. It means what you're doing is creating progress. So you have to come up with some mechanisms when you're doing. And what does shadow form mean? It means the form when you feel shadowy, when you feel dark. So I just explained the aspect of darkness. And there's been problems with that with skin color for centuries. So if you know what I'm talking about, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So that's the aspect of the subconscious mind. It's because the person has to go in. By the way, all skin colors are beautiful. If you actually know my ethnic background, I came out very light. Let's just say that. Yeah, my mother's side of the family is Brazilian with Congo blood. Okay, so all my family is just very different in skin color, so I get to see how just different interactions of them and people in public, etc. Or even dogs. When you see a dog and you see a black dog at nighttime, are you as scared as when you see a white dog? Do you think the black dog's gonna run up to you? Oh, there's a black dog over there. Just use that as an example. But the thing is, it has to do with the aspects of the subconscious mind. You have to get used to knowing that it's in here. When you close your eyes, you see darkness. All you'll see is darkness, most of you. Some of you actually are extremely gifted. And here's a guy's dog as an example who was walking by my car. Oops. I don't know where he went. But anyway, that's the thing. And people can get offended by it, whatever. So when you feel, sometimes a planet will make you do shadow work. There'll be a change. Let's just say Saturn is now in retrograde, or Saturn, etc. Uranus in retrograde. And these planets have aspects of darkness about them. And they'll make you go nuts. So you didn't do anything to do shadow work, but you're going nuts. At 7 minutes in, I'm finally revealing to you the essence of a shadow form. So you're in your shadow form. It doesn't last forever. It's temporary, but it's necessary. So what happens when it's a new moon? It's less bright out. I mean, new moon and the moon's not showing. It's dark. It's dark out. You don't see that full moon illuminating everything. Some planets will illuminate you, such as the sun. So let's just say certain elements in the planetary alignments will be joyous and happy, but then it switched to just pure darkness and you feeling like you're on the wrong track, and it switches to you having to change schedules, things popping up. Things don't go according to how you want them to go just because of a planetary change, and you feel like losing your mind. You feel you don't know what hit you. It's the planets. It's planetary karma. When I mean karma, it doesn't mean you did something bad. It means planetary karma. So let's just say, and yeah, if you ask for something and the planets are in the shadow phase and you're in your shadow form, because when you're walking under the beach and there's no light and the full moon's normally light and you're under a new moon, you're in darkness. You're in darkness by the beach, but darkness, what I just say about darkness, it's not inherently bad. You're just walking without seeing anything, unless you have a flashlight. So you can use things that act as flashlights, such as crystals. So work with happiness gemstones. They'll act as the flashlight. Good. So you really have to understand, sometimes you'll have a bunch of planets that trigger a shadow form in you, basically makes you do shadow work. You'll enter a new form, and you'll just be like, what is this? Like that. The car is illuminating my face. Otherwise, I'm in the darkness. Well, besides that street light. So you will be in your shadow form, and it's a miserable form. It feels like, is this ever going to end? Is this pain going to last forever? I feel like giving up. You're going to feel all these different things, and you'll just be like, what the? And you're like, oh, the thing is, you can cry, but you can't give up. You should actually you should use this shadow, and here's what I'm going to teach a secret right now. 919 seconds and 923, little angel numbers there. But when you go into your shadow form, your spiritual abilities are amplified times 100. What happens when a mother sees her child under a car? And it could be a little, very thin person, she'll just lift up the car and throw it. It's like, and it does happen too. Some people will, like, a mother just pick up an entire car. It's been known to happen. Not to throw the car. We're not Incredible Hulk here, but I mean, there's people, weightlifting competitors, whatever, who can flip over a cart. Maybe it is possible. It's possible. Okay. Anything's possible. We're not talking about just mothers thinking their kids on their cars and just, what an example, just picking up the car and throwing it Wonder Woman over here. But you're gonna feel, unless you're wearing hematite. Disclaimer. It's a spiritual strength, but when it comes to your shadow form, you have a couple of options. It makes everything you're doing like 100-fold. So tap into your projects, tap into your desires, tap into your inner fire. Because if you're feeling this fire come over you, don't let it burn everything around you or burn everything down. Direct it at your enemies. Direct it at any entities. Direct it at your projects and like a flamethrower. Just char your goals into ash and just destroy your goals. Destroy them, because sometimes without that fire, you'd not be able to do it. You just wouldn't. So that fire, it's basically like it's like a shadow fire. How cool. Talking about mythological games and stuff like that, but it's like a shadow fire. So you feel this shadowy flame in you, and you want to break things, or you want to give up, and you want to take stuff out in yourself. Most people, I will tell you what happens to most people who are not spiritually woken. They'll break relationships. They'll break stuff. They'll take it out on people. They'll go to jail. They'll drive like crazy and get into an accident. They'll get into fights with people. They'll earn their karma. And they don't even know what they're feeling. Imagine that. You don't know. Yeah, I'm switching sides. It's more comfortable. Yeah, I'm switching sides. So most people don't know what they're feeling. They don't. So they feel this incredible, like, just pain and agony of just planets beating like against them. It's like you might see all your losses. You might see a million losses, and just like, where's the win? And you're asking God for help. It's not that he's not helping you. It's that energy will get you your win. So you're going to use this energy for one of two things. You'll give up, or you'll fight until you have it. So this is the time to fight. It's time to get aggressive. Get aggressive with your goals. Do you want to be in the same spot you are in next year? Don't give up. This is the worst time to rest. If you're in your shadow form, fight. Fight like a cornered animal. Fight like a wombat going into the hole in the ground. I saw a video about that on TikTok. So that's interesting. That was an interesting example too. But fight. That is, I mean, the shadow form is just, you'll have two options. Or you'll have more options. You'll have like, oh, I feel like being evil. That's where people fall. So when you get that, it's like, it's telling you, make some changes. 000 indicates that it's time for you to make some changes. So get aggressive with it. Start that project. Start that website. If you've been procrastinating and your life is the same, start whatever you need to start, because it's not going to get any better unless you make some changes, okay? That's what you're feeling. It's like, oh, it feels horrible. It'll happen for like 2 weeks and you'll feel better. Then, because it's to make your sword sharp. You're taking a dull sword and you're smacking it, you're hitting something with it, and it's not creating the change you want. So God is allowing you, he's putting these sharpeners around you, and it feels like you're hitting things, and like, oh, let's just say you feel like you're sharpening your sword and it's not getting sharper. A week later and you swing your sword, it's cutting through anything. A hot knife through butter. So you can cry when you're in your shadow form. You can get mad at people. You can't take it out on people. Oh, if you take it out on people, you're done. You are done. You are done. Don't take it out on anyone. Go into a hole. Don't talk to people if you have to. But when you feel those shadows, do not take it out on anyone, or that karma is your iniquity. Now, if you have these shadows and you're defending yourself spiritually, if you're defending yourself spiritually, that's the best time. What happens with a cornered lion? Meow! Meow! Yeah, get amped. When you're in that corner, now you have nothing to lose and everything to gain. You have everything to gain. Essentially, you guys, I don't want to say you don't have nothing to lose, but when it comes to your goals, go for it. I didn't know there was a tower back there. Oh, that's not a tower. My third eye is seeing things. It looks like the Eiffel Tower. That's a plane. And by the way, in your shadow form, you're probably going to see extra. And for example, there's mild forms of shadow forms. So how do I know about, why am I teaching about shadow forms? It's because I finished a bunch of shadow work recently, and this is the best time to teach about it, because how can you teach about shadow work if you're not in your shadow work stages? So unless you're, and shadow work is kind of like a detox. If you're not parasite detoxing, you are full of parasites. Oh, spoiler, but okay, so yeah, shadow work is like you're detoxing. Detox that shadow, go into your shadow form. And I can tell you right now, if you look at the website, I've updated the website. Let's just say I'm gonna use my personal stuff as an experience here. On FloridaStoneman.com, I'm like, I like to add some more stuff. I like more color on my website, more crystals for people with less enemies. And then the website's popping. FloridaStoneman.com. Check out my website. It's looking good, because I took some inspired action. You guys can do the same thing on whatever you feel like you're stagnant on. So I'm like, I think my website needs to see some new things on it, and some new things are on the website. So check out FloridaStoneman.com. If you have any questions, ask your question in the comment section. Until then, I'll see you guys next time. Ciao. I'm also taking custom requests for necklaces. You can DM Florida Stoneman on Instagram for your custom necklace. Check out the testimonies on the website for custom necklaces. Until then, ciao.